Okay guys, so this is going to be all the material that will be on your test 2. So I thought I'd give you a nice review. So you're going to have one section where you have to name the compounds and acids will be thrown in there. You'll have another section where it says write the structure. Acids will be thrown in there. Remember that we can tell acids if they're not on this worksheet like this. If it has an AQ following it, we're going to use our acid rules. But for this class, we're going to assume that since it starts with an H, we're going to name it using our acid rules. Okay. So I'm going to go through this rather quickly. We should have the gist of everything by now. So naming compounds. So NO2, nitrogen is to the right of the zigzag line. So we have to use prefixes. So this is nitrogen. We have 2 oxygens, so it's dioxide. Li2SO3, okay? Lithium has a +1 charge, and sulfite has a -2 charge. So that's where that 2 comes from, the crisscross. So this is lithium, sulfite. I'm gonna leave a lot of space in this. Okay, SR, that's another typo. It should be a 2. I'll fix it. So SR is strontium. C2H3O2 is acetate. This has a +2 charge, so that's where we get that 2. This has a -1 charge, so we bring it down there. So this is going to be strontium acetate. Okay, CR. Chromium is one of the ones we highlighted. Okay, so we got to figure out which charge is going to be. MnO4 is permanganate. It's a -1 charge. Okay, it's a polyatomic ion. So that means that this has to be a +1 charge when we crisscross, because there's no crisscrossing going on. So they have to be equal and opposite. So this is chromium, Roman numeral 1, permanganate. Permanganate. Did I spell it? Yeah. Okay. SI. SI is to the right of the zigzag line, so we have to use our non-metal rules. So this is going to be silicone. We have 2 oxygens, so it's dioxide. PB is one of the elements we highlighted. Okay, so it's going to have Roman numerals when we name it. Okay, nitrogen's nitride. It's a -3 charge. So when we go to crisscross, we're going to reverse the crisscross. So that means PB has a +2 charge. So this is going to be lead, Roman numeral 2, nitride. Iron is Fe. It is one of the transition metals we highlighted. So it's going to have Roman numerals. HCO3 is bicarbonate or hydrogen carbonate. It has a -1 charge. So 2 times the -1 is a -2. So this has to have a +2 charge to get it back to 0. So this is going to be iron 2, bicarbonate, or hydrogen carbonate. PCl5, P is to the right of the zigzag line, so we have to use our prefixes. So this is going to be phosphorus, pentachloride. Okay, MnBrO2. Okay, so Mn is manganese. It's a transition metal that we highlighted. BrO, I don't think we've used this one yet. So BrO is hypobromite. Okay, it has a -1 charge. So 2 times the -1 is a -2. So that means manganese has to have a +2 charge. So this is going to be manganese, Roman numeral 2, hypobromite. Okay. Ca is calcium, CO3 is carbonate, +2, -2 charge. So this is going to be calcium carbonate. Okay, they're equal and opposite, so there wasn't any sort of crisscrossing going on. Ca parentheses IO2. Okay. Ca is calcium. IO, let's look at what IO is. Hypoiodite. Okay, it has a -1 charge. So this is just calcium hypoiodite. Okay, +2, -1. Okay, NH4 is ammonium. C2H3O2 is acetate. This has a +1 charge. Acetate has a -1 charge. This is ammonium acetate. Okay, CS, 2C2O4. Okay, cesium. Cesium is in group 1. It has a +1 charge. C2O4 is oxalate. It has a -2 charge. So this is going to be cesium oxalate. O9H7. So oxygen is to the right of the zigzag line, so we have to use our non-metal rules. So this is non-oxygen, sorry. Okay, so if you wrote non-O with AO, that wouldn't be wrong, but like I said earlier in the previous videos, that we don't usually double vowel, especially with oxygen. And then you have 7 hydrogens, so it's heptahydride. Okay, KCN, symbol for K is potassium. CN is cyanide. It has a -1 charge, so this is going to be potassium cyanide. Okay, now as we go through the next section, we're going to be crisscrossing, so you need to make sure you crisscross everything and write all your charges when necessary. Okay, we don't write charges whenever they're non-metal compounds. So lithium. Lithium is Li with a +1 charge. Fluoride is F with a -1 charge. So when we go to do that, there's no need to crisscross because they're equal and opposite, so it's LiF. Boron trichloride. Boron is to the right of the zigzag line, so we're going to use our non-metal rules. So it's just BCl3 because we have 3 chlorines. Okay. Iron 3 phosphate, symbol for iron is Fe. It has a +3 charge. Phosphate is PO4 with a -3 charge. No need to crisscross because they're equal and opposites. So it's just FePO4. Like that. Okay. Silver, symbol for silver is Ag with a +1 charge. Sulfide is S with a -2 charge. We're going to crisscross. So it should be Ag2S. Okay, the 2 goes down here, the 1 goes down here. Lead 4 sulfate, symbol for lead is Pb. It's a transition metal, so we have to use Roman numerals. Okay, sulfate is SO4 with a -2 charge. So we're going to crisscross. So we should get Pb2 parentheses SO4, 4 like that. Now pay attention to this. We can reduce this. The 2 and the 4 are both divisible by 2. So it should be Pb SO4 2, like that. Beryllium, the symbol for beryllium is Be. It has a +2 charge. Chloride is Cl with a -1 charge. So this is BeCl2. Go and crisscross. Strontium is Sr with a +2 charge. Chlorate is ClO3 with a -1 charge. I need to write this better. So we get Sr parentheses ClO3 close parentheses 2. Bring the 2 over here. We have to use parentheses because we're crisscrossing to a polyatomic ion. Zinc hypochlorite. Okay, zinc is Zn with a +2 charge. Hypochlorite is ClO with a -1 charge. So we have to crisscross. So it's Zn ClO parentheses 2. Remember, zinc always has a +2 charge. Mercury 2 permanganate. Symbol for mercury is Hg with a +2 charge. Permanganate is MnO4 with a -1 charge, so we have to crisscross. Okay, so we get Hg parentheses MnO4 close parentheses 2. Tin thiosulfate, okay? Tin is SN with a +2 charge. Thiosulfate, okay? Thiosulfate is S2O3 with a -2 charge. Okay, there's no need to crisscross because they're equal and opposite charges. So this SN S2O3. Cobalt chromate, okay? Cobalt 3 chromate. So cobalt is CO with a +3 charge. Chromate is CR2. Oh, sorry. CrO4 with a -2 charge. Okay? So we're going to have to crisscross. So we get CO2 parentheses CrO4 close parentheses 3. We're crisscrossing to a polyatomic ion, so we have to use parentheses. Aluminum amide. Aluminum is Al with a +3 charge. Amide is NH2, and that has a -1 charge. Okay, so crisscross, we get Al, parentheses NH2, close parentheses 3. Okay, we have to use parentheses because we're crisscrossing to a polyatomic ion. Copper 1 sulfite. Copper is Cu with a +1 charge in this case. Sulfite is SO3 with a -2 charge. So it's Cu2, SO3. We don't use parentheses because we're crisscrossing a 1. And then calcium perbromate. Calcium is Ca with a +2 charge. Perbromate. If we look at perbromate, is going to be BrO4 with a -1 charge. Crisscross. We get something like that. Okay, sorry, I didn't leave a lot of room on this, so you probably should do this on a separate sheet of paper. And I would make sure I try these problems before I even looked up the video. And hopefully you got most of these right. Now let's go on to the back with the acids, because we haven't had as much practice with the acids. Okay, remember when we see hydro, that means there's only 2 elements. Okay, hydrogen and something else. If there's no hydro, that means there's 3 elements. And acids always start with an H, okay? So, H has a +1 charge. Bromic is Br, -1. So, hydro means there's only 2 elements. So, they're equal and opposite, so our structure looks like that. Hydronitric acid, okay? Hydro means there's 2 elements, hydrogen, and then in this case it's gonna be nitrogen, okay? So we crisscross, so it's going to be H3N, like that. Sulfurous acid, okay, so there's no hydro, so there's more than 2 elements in there. So OUS goes with the ITE ending, so we're going to use the sulfite ion, and then crisscross. So that's sulfurous acid. Chloric acid. Okay, it goes with 8. Acids always start with hydrogen. So the chlorate ion is ClO3 with a -1 charge. So this is HClO3. They're equal and opposite, so we don't need to crisscross. Oxalic acid, okay, it ends in IC, and there's no hydro, so there's 3 elements in it. So start with hydrogen. Oxalate. It goes with 8, so oxalate C2O4 with a -2 charge. So we're going to crisscross, get H2, C2O4. Bromous acid, so if it ends in OUS, it's going to be the IT ion, okay? There's no hydro, so there's more than 2 elements in it. So bromite ion is BrO2. I'm sure that's right. BrO2 is bromide, yeah. Okay, they're equal and opposite charges, so we don't have to crisscross. It looks like that. Hydrofluoric acid. Hydro means there's 2 elements in it, so hydrogen and, in this case, fluorine. Okay, there's no need to crisscross because they're equal and opposite charges, so it's HF. Carbonic acid. Ic goes with 8, so it's the carbonate ion, so CO3 with a -2 charge, and then we crisscross. Okay, there's no need for parentheses because we're crisscrossing a 1. Iodic acid. Okay, it's not hydro, so there's more than 2 elements in it. It goes with 8, so the iodate ion is IO3 with a -1 charge. So this is HiO3. Okay, the last ones. So when we're naming these, make sure that if it has 2 elements in it, so like the first 2, they're going to have hydro prefixes. So HI is hydroiodic acid. Okay, so we change the IDE ending to the ic. HBr is hydrobromic acid. Okay, we use hydro because there's only 2 elements. HClO2, well, there's 3 elements in it, so we don't use hydro for any of these down here. ClO2 is chlorite, so we're going to change the ite to OUS. So this is chlorous acid. BrO4 is bromate. We're going to change the 8 to ic, so this is perbromic acid. So BrO4 is the perbromate ion, so we're going to change the 8 to ic, so perbromic acid. H3PO4. PO4, so first of all, there's 3 elements in it. The 3 comes from the crisscross. Okay, PO4 is phosphate. We're going to change it to ic, so it's phosphoric acid, or if you say phosphic acid, same thing. H2SO4. SO4 is the sulfate ion. So 8 goes with ic, so it's sulfuric acid. H2Cr2O7. Cr2O7 is the dichromate ion. Okay, 8 goes with ic, so this is dichromic acid. And H3BO3. BO3 is the borate ion. Okay, it's right here, borate. 8 goes with ic, so this is boric acid. So what you need to make sure to know with acids is it always starts with H. We only use hydro when there's 2 elements, hydrogen and something else. If there's 3 elements in there, it's a ternary acid. We change the 8 to ic and the ite to OUS. Okay? On the front, make sure that you locate your transition metals, okay? Or locate where our first element is. If it's to the right of the zigzag line, you have to use your prefixes, okay? Your non-metal rules. And that's pretty much it. Make sure you write your charges. Make sure you crisscross when appropriate. We don't crisscross 1s, and we don't crisscross to a polyatomic ion if there's something other than we only do it if it's something other than a 1. If we can reduce, like in this example right here, we have to reduce. You've had plenty of practice problems to do this stuff, so if you have any questions, feel free to reach out if I need to re-explain anything. If not, have a good night. Thanks.